World War II brought devastation and upheaval. It also brought unprecedented opportunities for women. With millions of men away fighting, women took on roles they could never have imagined before. They became the backbone of the war effort, both at home and abroad. Their contributions reshaped the workforce and redefined what women could achieve. Before the war, society expected women to be homemakers. They were mothers, wives, and daughters. The war changed everything. Women left their homes and entered factories, shipyards, and offices. They learned new skills and proved their capabilities in every sector. The war effort needed everyone to participate. Women answered the call. They embraced challenges and shattered stereotypes. Their courage and determination helped win the war and paved the way for future generations of women. The image of Rosie the Riveter became an enduring symbol of women's wartime contributions. Strong and determined, Rosie represented the millions of women who worked in factories and shipyards across the nation. These women built planes, tanks, ships and munitions. They kept the supply lines flowing to the troops overseas. Labour shortages were critical during the war. Factories needed workers to produce essential goods. Women filled these roles with enthusiasm and skill. They learned to operate machinery, weld metal and assemble complex equipment. Their work was demanding and often dangerous, but they persevered. The influx of women into the workforce was transformative. It challenged traditional gender roles and proved that women were capable of performing jobs previously considered men's work. Women gained economic independence and a sense of empowerment. They showed the world that they were strong, capable, and essential to the war effort. Women's contributions extended beyond the factory floor. They also served in the military, taking on crucial support roles that allowed men to fight on the front lines. Organizations like the Women's Army Corps and the Navy's Waves provided women with opportunities to serve their country in uniform. WACs and Waves performed a wide range of duties, freeing up men for combat. They worked as clerks, drivers, mechanics, nurses and radio operators. They served in every theatre of the war, from the beaches of Normandy to the jungles of the Pacific. Their service was vital to the war effort. While women in the military faced discrimination and were often relegated to support roles, their service challenged traditional notions of femininity. They proved their courage, competence and patriotism. Their contributions paved the way for greater acceptance of women in the military in the decades that followed. The battlefield is a place of chaos and suffering, but amidst the carnage, nurses provided essential care and comfort. Women served as nurses on the front lines, tending to wounded soldiers with compassion and skill. They worked tirelessly in dangerous and often horrific conditions. Nurses faced constant danger, working in field hospitals close to the fighting. They endured bombing raids, shortages of supplies, and the emotional toll of witnessing unimaginable suffering. Yet they persevered, driven by a deep sense of duty and a desire to alleviate the pain of the wounded. The bravery and dedication of wartime nurses earned them the admiration of soldiers and civilians alike. They were often referred to as angels of mercy for their tireless efforts to save lives and ease suffering. Their experiences during the war highlighted the vital role of women in medicine and helped break down barriers in the medical profession. Section 5. Secret codes and hidden messages, women in intelligence. The war was fought not only on battlefields but also in the shadows, where information was a powerful weapon. Women played a critical role in intelligence gathering, code breaking and espionage, using their intellect and skills to outwit the enemy. Working behind the scenes, women intercepted enemy communications, broke complex codes, and analyzed intelligence data. Their work was essential to Allied victory, providing crucial information about enemy movements, plans, and capabilities. One of the most famous examples of women's contributions to intelligence was the breaking of the Enigma code. At Bletchley Park in England, a team of brilliant mathematicians and codebreakers, many of them women, cracked the German Enigma machine, giving the Allies a decisive advantage in the war. Section 6. Fields of Victory, the Women's Land Army. While battles raged overseas, another battle was being fought on the home front, the battle to keep the nation fed. With millions of men away fighting, women stepped up to fill the labour shortage in agriculture, ensuring that food supplies reached both soldiers and civilians. The Women's Land Army, or WLA, mobilised women to work on farms and ranches across the country. These land girls, as they were known, learned to plough fields, plant and harvest crops, milk cows and manage livestock. The work was physically demanding and often unfamiliar to women who had grown up in cities, but they persevered, driven by patriotism and a desire to contribute to the war effort. The WLA played a vital role in maintaining food production during the war, ensuring that both soldiers and civilians had enough to eat. Their contributions demonstrated the importance of women's work in agriculture and challenged traditional gender roles in rural communities. Section 7. Courage in the Shadows, Resistance and Espionage. In Nazi-occupied Europe, women played dangerous roles in resistance movements, risking their lives to fight for freedom and justice. They served as couriers, spies, saboteurs and underground fighters, defying the enemy and inspiring others to resist. Women in resistance movements faced constant danger of arrest, torture and execution. They smuggled weapons and supplies, gathered intelligence on enemy activities and helped Allied airmen escape capture. One inspiring example is the story of Sophie Scholl, a young German student who joined the White Rose resistance group. She and her brother Hans distributed anti-Nazi leaflets urging Germans to resist the Nazi regime. They were eventually caught and executed, but their bravery became a symbol of resistance against tyranny. Section 8. A New World. The Legacy of Women in Wartime. World War II had a profound and lasting impact on women's roles in society. The war challenged traditional gender roles, opened up new opportunities for women, and paved the way for the women's rights movement of the post-war era. Women's contributions to the war effort demonstrated their capabilities, their strength, and their patriotism. They proved that they could work outside the home, contribute to the war effort in meaningful ways, and succeed in roles previously considered men's work. The war also brought about social and economic changes that benefited women. Women gained greater economic independence as they entered the workforce in large numbers. They also developed new skills and expertise, which they carried with them into the post-war era. The war experience fostered a sense of independence and self-reliance among women, which contributed to their growing demands for equality in the decades that followed. Section 9. A Lasting Impact from Rosie to Today. The legacy of women's contributions during World War II continues to shape the world we live in today. The war opened doors for women in countless fields, from science and technology to business and politics. It helped to break down gender stereotypes and pave the way for greater equality in education, employment and civic life. The Rosies of World War II inspired future generations of women to pursue their dreams and shatter glass ceilings. Their courage, determination and unwavering spirit continue to inspire us today. The lessons learned during World War II about the importance of women's contributions to society continue to resonate today. As we face new challenges in the 21st century, we can draw inspiration from the women of World War II, who showed the world what women can achieve when they are given the opportunity. Their legacy reminds us that equality is not just a matter of fairness, but a matter of strength and resilience.